Well, one of us needs to say it confidently. Like,
there's got to be some level of,
if all three of us are unsure, we're fucked. It's
Probably true. Email incoming, Jeff.
Oh, perfect.
We have at least one, if not two, fake confidences to keep this train rolling. It's
Meh.
Meh. What a...
Meh.
I won't fake confidence.
Only real confidence over here.
Or nothing at all.
Yeah, that sounds about right. You can write it more.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
All right, I'm trying to organize some goddamn knives here while we're getting going. We should be getting going, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, we should be live at this
Justin
point.
and Matt are in chat. What's up, lads?
Pardon our mess. There we go.
What the hell are y'all carrying? That's right.
Justin saying that fake confidence makes him the tallest person alive. I'm like, well, believing it maybe, but you're going to be ducking under a lot of bridges for no reason. It's going to look really funny. It's
Matt's carrying his 308 this week.
He's always carrying his 308.
Oh, is it like me where I say every week, I'm carrying this today, in addition to all my other bullshit?
That's part of it as well. But Matt's honeymoon phases last longer than anyone else I know, I swear. That's speaking fair. Of honeymoon phases.
That's fair. That's fair. What's going on, Ben? What are you carrying tonight, brother?
Yeah, I liked that conversation about the honeymoon phases. It's something that I actually have thought about a few more times since then, and it's made me revisit a lot of my collection. Yeah.
I will shout out to Ben. Thanks for the repost, both in your story and on your feed. We are doing the giveaway. Yeah, and Ben's helping us out, man. So, yeah.
I want to say he's the only person that's reposted so far. So
nice.
He's the only person getting that extra push. Justin's carrying his M4 Freak. Has it cut anything yet?
Today? Was today the day? Please tell us today was the day.
We're gonna ask you every frickin' week.
Stab some cheese right in the face. Like, seriously.
Something. Who wants to go first for their daily carry? I guess today's carry, not the daily carry. Because we switch it up a lot.
Yeah.
I have the day off, so normally I am only carrying one knife. So,
Do you want to say what you're carrying then?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm carrying my copper proper.
Copper proper.
Yeah. It's a heavy little pig, that's for sure. But it's pretty. It's so pretty.
Both of those statements are true, yeah.
Dennis's reground heavy pig of a knife. Yeah.
We need to. This is getting posted.
Yep.
It's gonna have to.
What's getting posted?
This knife has to go on Dennis's reground blades.
Oh, I guess it's already. Yeah. It does count, doesn't it?
Did this happen?
Are you posting a picture of it closed on where it's talking about regrinds? That's awesome.
Well, he is now.
It'll be even better that way.
Now he doesn't have a choice.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you for another photo, but it's funnier this way.
The regrind.
It's awesome. Shiny enough that you can tell that something's been done to it.
Oh,
something has. Yeah,
it doesn't come that shiny from factory. That's for damn sure. So what do you? I mean, I'm assuming you like the copper more because it's still wearing the copper over the micarta. But
have you seen that copper? Like,
I'm looking at it. It's fucking gorgeous.
It's pretty.
It's very pretty.
It's very pretty. Yeah.
I like the breakthrough spots of a little bit of copper peeking through.
Yeah.
along the corners and stuff. It
Yeah.
kind of got beat up a little bit, but you know,
I'm into that.
yeah,
It's nice.
might have been dropped on a gravel driveway. So
Yeah.
Mayhaps.
Is this what people mean when they say hashtag use your shit? Drop it unexpectedly?
that's right, Heater Nation, stab it in a tree. I was just watching that video 2 days ago. It was making me laugh.
Nice.
It'd been a long time. I almost forgot about it.
I gotta pretend I know at all what you guys are talking about.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember even the con. I'll show you after the Heater Nation. Anyway,
I missed the precursor comment in chat, but something's a good way to bag yourself.
well, I think Spartan in the track pants, I think, is Dick Richard
Oh,
is
really?
talking about. Yeah, either that or it's
Oh.
Black Frost's 308 in his pocket, because both of those things are hazardous to the Netherlands. And yeah, that's right.
Is that why they call it that, huh? All right.
It's a neutral area.
It's-
I'm pretty neutral about it. Don't you worry.
Do you want to go next, Joe, or should I?
Sure, I'll go next. Speaking of revisiting stuff that may or may not have had short-lived honeymoon phases, I was carrying my my full-size Paradox from Cold Steel today with the aluminum handles because it's a big knife and it needs to be played with.
That's ridiculous.
Comment about the fact that I immediately registered the fact that that thing was in your pocket today.
Yeah, immediately like Paradox, huh? I'm like, yeah. Well,
Jesus.
well, look at what shows out of the pocket, like, and it's super shiny. This makes me feel like an '80s bad guy holding this knife. It's like,
Yeah.
wow, that's stupid. Very short story time. The reason why this has been in my pocket lately, being the nerd that I am, gonna go play D&D on a Wednesday. The last in-person session we did before restrictions hit again, and none of the guys there are really knife guys, so I always bring them something weird to show off. Like the week before was the Provoke. So I bring them the Paradox to show, and it never really left my pocket. So I've been using it around in the garage. It's a stupid knife, but it's still useful. I can keep telling myself that. Oh
I'm
yeah.
surprised you didn't have to explain yourself to the authorities with that one in your pocket.
Well, if for no other reason, it kind of looks like a butterfly knife if it's just sticking up here. So
I said it's sticking out of your pocket this much. Anyone who
Yeah.
knows anything about knives would be like, "What's that you got there?"
yeah, a nice shiny toy.
Yeah, Canada friendly.
Yeah, very friendly, very Canada. I don't know what you're talking. Anyway, Paul, how about you say?
Let's change the topic now.
It's totally Canadian friendly. I don't know.
It is. It is a true story.
Yeah. This week I'm rocking the Wee Knives Angst.
I like
By
that
this
photo.
week, I mean continuous. Since I got it, it's either been front pocket carry, or since I got the Hest, it's been knocked into the back pocket. But it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It is way too much fun to play with, and I'm just gonna leave that sentence out in the ether for your enjoyment.
Quick shout out, Zinks, John, Mississauga. Thanks
Hey,
for joining us, guys. Yeah, for sure.
Indeed.
Yeah, that was a pretty fast topic change.
I just saw that comment. Yeah. For the record, I also have the 4-inch in Grivery, and I choose to carry the 6-inch. So,
just
anyway,
quick shout out to Zinks as well. I don't know if you mentioned that. I might have.
Yes, sure did. Yeah.
All right. Well, he's been absent recently. So second cheers.
You were drooling over your angst still while I was doing the shout out. So
I mean,
that's actually a decent shot. Out of all you're slagging about trying to find a decent pick for today.
Well, this is the pick that I took previous to tonight, and I changed my knife answer. But I carry this knife every day, so it's not a lie.
So
speaking of honeymoon phases, you're still very much in.
It ain't going anywhere anytime soon.
Have you found anything new that you wish was different or that you dislike about it? Now that you've been carrying it for a little bit?
No, things have been pretty consistent as far as things I like and don't like about it. The blade is a little dainty, is the biggest downfall, but I'm not one to carry one knife at a time, so having one dainty knife and something else that's a little bit beefier is not that big of a deal to me.
For sure.
Still hasn't been sharpened on the spine because I'm not there yet.
That's
it will
fair.
happen. I need a guided system before I feel comfortable to do that.
Yeah, I don't blame you on that one. Want to do it right.
That's it.
All right. Yeah, we're talking Kershaw Endgame today.
Yeah, we are.
We're doing it. We're diving in. Let's do it. It's enough of this EDC and stuff. But yeah, John Zinks, we'd also like to know what you guys are carrying today.
Yeah, please do tell.
But yeah, we're going to chat about this. Calling it a first impressions.
Yeah. I was just going to...
We've all got to play with this knife for a couple weeks now and do some fiddle finagling with it. So
yeah, I just wanted to bring up the specs from Kershaw's website.
Can we go back
before
to fiddle finagling, please?
No.
As if you're not doing that with your Wii Angst, like every chance you can get.
See, I had to switch to
There's
a knife.
A lot of fiddle finagling going on behind the cameras, we can tell.
The old... I try to keep it to knives that don't make much sound as you're playing with them. Otherwise, you're just going to hear click, 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 click. Yeah. But for that end game, it's a D2 blade. It's a 3 1/4 inch long, stonewashed finish, stainless steel for the handles. It's a frame lock. It's on ball bearings, and it weighs 3.9 ounces. So that's all the reasonably necessary specs, I think.
You forgot the most important thing, Joe.
Oh, what's that?
That the Endgame is the total package for any collection.
We're going to dive into that too,
Yeah,
apparently.
Yeah, so they really they're trying to upsell this particular model kind of hard if you're going by their copyright here. I get the feeling that Dennis was a little less than impressed with this knife, to be perfectly honest, but I didn't find it to necessarily be the worst thing in the world. I don't think that you could maybe stop a knife collection with the acquisition of this particular model, but that's just me.
Well, you could stop it because you know you're at the low point in your collecting life that you just you've hit rock bottom.
My friend,
worse things.
My friend, I own several CRKTs, sir.
I was just playing with a capsule. I can go lower.
Hey,
it's
just because it's true.
I shouldn't slag. I was
gonna say, if that capsule was made in D2, I'd rather have that.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of models that if Kershaw made in better steel, I would rebuy. Anyway. That's
all right. John's carrying the Nkosi drop point.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff. And an Opinel number 8. I can never remember what numbers the Opinels are.
Number 8 is the optimal. It's the most common, I'm pretty sure.
I'm just gonna look up Opinel number 8 in the stainless.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah, so looks about right.
Either way.
But I have 8.5 centimeters. What is this? Numbers that are usable.
That's a classic little blade. Yeah. Anyway, back on the end game.
Yeah.
Just don't baton with it.
Or don't use the locking ring, I guess. No.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't baton with this knife either. It's a folder. It's a frame lock. I wouldn't do it. So
what are you talking about? The ball bearings and the pivot would stand up to.
Yeah. Dude, I'm worried about all the little bits and bobs they added to it falling off.
Yeah. So this whole multi-layered approach, visually, when you're looking at the knife dead on, it doesn't look half bad. But there's a couple of points where let's see if we can even see it in this particular photo. Yeah, so there's a triple layering weirdness sandwich going on here that honestly just reminds me of super cheap Tac Force and M-Tech knives. You've got this bronze PVD coated thing over top of a stainless steel bolster, over top of a stainless steel liner. And then over here you've got it's not Grivery, I can't remember the name.
Is it a G10?
No, it is glass-filled nylon
No.
inserts.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh.
it's
So
woof.
yeah, my biggest issue with this knife is like in the entire description, they really skirt around what those they do tell you, but they really skirt around what they're made of. Like some are made of glass-filled nylon and others coated with bronze PVD. But you're like, the others coated with bronze PVD are also nylon. They're also just, yeah. But the wording of it is like, what is it? What is the bronze on type of thing, right?
I thought the bronze stuff was stainless. I thought it was.
See, that's what they want you to believe.
I
But
thought it was rose gold.
it's totally
Paul.
rose gold. I'm gonna stab someone.
Dennis, stop it. Both of you.
Paul, give me your angst so I can stab you with it. It's the best knife in the conversation right now to do the stabbing.
It's
So
the right one.
yeah, I got to live up to our Pokey Factor name here. It's been a while.
Okay, I will point out.
The Canadian stabbing grid.
I will say that some are made of glass-filled nylon, and others are coated with bronze PVD. I don't think you can do PVD coatings on nylon. I'm willing to bet those are actually some form of metal.
Okay, but they do say down in the description, the specifications,
This here.
handle material is either stainless steel or glass-filled nylon inserts.
Yes.
So they might be stainless steel overlays with a PVD.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't. Again, I just assuming. I don't think you can do PVD coating on nylon without like melting it.
See, and that's where the confusion comes in. Is I don't know, like myself, but
It's too vague to be.
they are very very vague, non-specific about exactly what is going on there, right? So
now, I don't mind plastic inserts normally, but this is what does it retail for on their site? It's $107.99 MSRP.
USD.
Yeah,
USD. Yeah.
The 107 is Canadian pricing, so
isn't it? We're on Kershaw.com.
But I believe it reroutes you to.
Oh, fair enough. Okay.
I could be wrong, but I believe it reroutes you to Canadian pricing right off the bat.
Okay.
Just because, yeah. Anyway, that's about what price it is going for Canadian as well. That's the other reason I kind of lead to believe that, right? So,
right. So
just a quick Stanson 357 in chat with his mini recon.
Hey,
nice.
Very nice.
And even when it comes to the bronze part of it, where it's the decorative pivot cap, what's it made out of? You would think if it was aluminum or stainless steel or whatever it may be, someone would be saying, hey, these are steel caps. But that's why I'm like, am I paying $110 here of the polar bear dollars for plastic, 3 layers of plastic over top of a steel liner?
Yeah,
because they're pretty vague about it. We'd have to do a disassembly on one and actually look into it further.
If we stuck a magnet onto it and it's no,
because I guess steel liner. Yeah.
I guess it would still. Yeah, I guess we'd have to pop it off to know for sure.
You could theoretically feel the difference between the stainless steel right beside it and the PVD coated area.
Yeah, just if the resistance is different at all. Now, the other thing to consider too is why would they PVD coat plastic? Wouldn't it be easier to just have the plastic cast in that color? You get way more consistent results, and it'd be a lot cheaper. Just
you get plastic in this perfect rose gold color?
Paul, you stop that. Yeah, you could get plastics in most colors. I mean, it's not terribly difficult to do.
Yeah, and Ben is saying take it apart. Okay, so probably those 3 screws or 2 screws on that one side may or may not be coming apart at some point this week, and we're going to do a little in-depth, because this is our first impressions review, other than just weight and length and what we thought about it. Yeah. Our first impression is that I think they're cheaping out and putting a lot of plastic and making me pay for it, is what my first impression is. But yeah.
If you D2.
Okay, so here's the thing. They
sure do.
They've got other knives that have D2. with a 3D machined handle with carbon fiber inlays. I'm talking about the Nomad. That's a little bit more expensive than this knife. I'm going to assume because it's larger overall, more so than the carbon fiber stickers that they used. The thing that I dislike most about this knife is that it comes in at this price, and like Dennis says, they're cheaping out. They give you this sandwich of materials. Again, it just reeks of cheap, rather than having a cast or machined handle.
Okay, on the handle aspect of it, but I'll spin it around and actually put something good on this goddamn knife. The action on this was surprisingly good straight out of the box.
Oh,
and I've handled 2 or 3. And straight out of the box, I've actually been impressed. When I opened it up, I actually misread this knife when it first came in. I thought it was a speed assist, thinking that it was going to launch. And when I hit the flipper and the KVT just rolled it out, I was like, oh, that didn't have the spring, but in a good way type of thing, right? Like, so I'll say the action on these, it can be lefty carry. Ben, why you got to break my sentence up by throwing smart ass comments? Yes, it can be lefty and righty, so it'll probably actually get a decent score when it comes to pocket ergos if we were using that in the long term. So,
for the record,
I feel like when this first came in, sorry, Joe. No. I actually went to go and fired it like halfway and was like, oh, fired it fully and then handed it to you and you did the same thing and you're like, we were both like, oh, it's not an assisted knife.
Yeah.
Both of us expected it to be.
I actually ended up taking a picture of the detent hole specifically to show the fact that the bottom of it is flat. They used an end mill and plunged in to do it. So it's a nice crisp shoulder that they've got going on there.
What, like every Kershaw and ZT that are out there that don't have a proper ramp? Thanks for pointing that out.
Well, a ramp in and out of a detent hole isn't a good thing, I'll say that much. But as far as the detent hole itself, that crisp shoulder is going to make for a pretty poppy action. It's just nice to see that they're doing it, because most of the time they would do just like a little, it just looks like a divot. Like they went part of the way through the knife with just a regular drill bit. So a little bit more effort's going into it that way. And that larger hole, I think, is just probably a machining mounting point. Like there was a screw that went through there at some point to hold it down.
Is it a complete hole on the backside, or is it actually like an internal stop pin?
It's a through hole. There is actually no internal stop pin on this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, you can actually see the stop pin on the opposite side on the Kershaw website. You can see a black spot where it's very much the.
You can actually move the blade too. If you hide the detent hole, you can see that hole perfectly through.
Interesting. Yeah.
Dick Richards is saying in chat that he'd like to see more bronzing out there, and I agree with him. It'd be nice to see more bronze from other companies.
Yeah.
And even
not necessarily.
Well, no, but even if it's titanium or aluminum with proper like bronzing, anodizing, whatever it may be, electroplating, blah blah blah, I'm all down on. I'm not down on the plastic. So
on $100 knife, it feels kind of bad. The other thing, and I this photo is taking forever to load, so I'm just going to talk about it now without bringing it up. But the back spacer on this knife is actually plastic all the way through. And that's something that has been done on some more expensive Kershaw, and I think a ZT model too. Wasn't exactly pleased about that.
I'm just going to throw this up on the screen just so everyone can see I think it's a G10 on this one. I don't think it's actual plastic, but on this very, very expensive Spyderco type of thing. So talking about talking about things where you're might be paying a little bit more and overlooked, and especially in the world where barrel spacers are king right now and anodized in colors, why not do them as a bronze barrel spacer instead of cheap out on a plastic back spacer type of thing, right? But yeah,
there's the picture.
That would have helped sell it and also make Dick Richards happy with more bronze. So
I was going to say you could have price or color matched it to the rest of the knife.
And here's the thing too, like I'm pretty sure you could use bronze or like cast metals for the backspacer instead of just doing this plastic stuff, and it would be relatively cheap. It would look snazzy as hell.
I think Kershaw like learned the wrong lessons because a lot of custom makers have been doing backspacers like this, and they use a really fancy material, and then they do all this work, and you can see through and past it, and it looks really nice on a high-end knife. But when you do it out of plastic, it doesn't have the same to it.
Yeah, it just feels really bad to hold an otherwise really nice knife and then notice that like the backspacer's plastic. It's just
But it's not a flaw in function
no
in any sort of
plastic
way.
it's
Right?
fine. Again, I don't mind plastic inlays. It's just at this price point, I kind of want something a little nicer, you know.
But yeah, for sure. Don't get me wrong. I agree that the price point is too high on it. But when it comes to the actual function of the knife, anything like that, it's not going to hurt the knife in any sort of functional way. It's definitely an aesthetic nitpick, and I think for the price, they could have done a lot better, for sure.
Ben is saying it's 150 polar bear dollars on a few sites out there, so I think that 107 is American.
Okay.
Well, they should just buy it off of our website instead, because we're significantly cheaper than that at Cutting Edge Cutlery Co. I'm just saying that we're undercutting the market on the Endgame, and so should you.
Yeah. You know what? I'll even bring up a link to the website here.
Nope, don't do it. Don't do it. Just keep on streaming.
Too late. It's already there. Anyway.
That's it. 110 on our site.
Yeah, it's 110.
For us.
So I'll backpedal a little bit. Maybe I sound like I'm being a little bit too harsh on this knife. It actually
reason you don't do that. The reason you don't do that is a year down the road when prices vary, then people don't have a website to go off of.
I guess that's
anyway.
Fair.
Continue on.
But as far as this guy goes in hand, it feels fine. The one nitpick that I have personally that really does affect the function, at least for me, is the sweep on that pocket clip. I'm not the only person who complains about this, but like for instance, I don't know.
Oh, the highball XL. That's been the theme this year. Is these big protrudy.
But like you get a little flat off of the end of a lot of pocket clips, and that makes it comfortable in hand. But this
on that one in particular, Joe, on your ad 15, if you actually brought that up, the actual spoon is lower than the bar itself.
Yes, which I don't think.
Right. Whereas if you look at this knife, if you look at the Highball XL, the spoon is actually higher than the majority because they do a constant ramp, but the majority of the bar is actually lower. So that's part of the ergos is on the ad 15, the main bar is actually where your palm is resting. And here there's nothing resting except for this jutting piece, right? So,
and on some knives, it doesn't bug me quite as much, but it really is a case-by-case basis. Like for instance, the CRKT, the Nurktai, the latest one, that comes up pretty egregiously, but maybe due to the size, I don't know, it lands nicely in my hand. It's not in a place where it hurts. This knife, not so much. Like it doesn't really hurt, the Endgame, I should say, but it is mildly uncomfortable. So I could see it creating a hot spot if you were to really bear down on it for long periods of time. Not that this is a knife I would suggest like really taking that down anyway with all the loose little pieces, but anyway.
Now the double-edged sword with that, like being a lefty, is when I actually pick this knife up and handle it, I don't feel the hot spot because I'm actually curling my fingers around where that pocket clip is sitting.
Right.
And going at it from that. So when you're carrying a right hand only, it's a double edge. Like this is ambidextrous, and as soon as I put the clip onto the left side, I would feel it instantaneously because I have put the Highball XL in my right hand and figured it out that and you can see it on this one as well, is that it's jabby, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm actually curious about, because I can't quite recall if that clip is straight or not.
I will say a pocket clip is fairly easy to modify as far as grinding that down and getting it. If you overall like the design other than the clip,
Or
It's-
rebending or MXGing or whatever it may. Yeah, like there's a
There's
bunch
not
of
a
options.
clip for this knife. You're insane.
Going,
There's a double screw pattern like that. There's no way. There's not.
yeah.
Oh, but that actually fits this knife where the screw pattern is exactly the right size.
For this double end clip that looks exactly like a 450 or a 452, like
Doesn't
My
look exactly
450.
like a 452.
kinda.
I mean, the hole placement maybe if you measured it, but
I don't know if it's cut in or not. But I'm just saying, like it's there.
Point
You
being,
can do things with the clip, regardless of whether we get on that tangent or not.
Yeah.
Like it's
it wouldn't take much. Then but the other nice things about this clip are the screws are countersunk into the clip, so going in and out of the pocket, there's no snagging issues. There's none of that. The tension feels good. It is on a smooth surface, the stainless steel, but the tension's high enough that I don't feel like I'm going to lose it accidentally without noticing. Otherwise, functionally, I like the clip. It's just that one raised partition that might be a bit of a hot spot. But it is nice to see because Kershaw did have. We talked about it. What the hell? You were interested in it, Dennis. The starts with the T. The Turismo.
Turismo,
yeah. That one
it's too bad the handle was slippery, but
yeah. But the for me, what killed it is the pocket clip screws were higher than the. It was worse than this, but it's like that where it stands up and it snagged on the seam of my pants every single time I tried to pocket it. So it was a non-starter for me. This they didn't make that particular mistake on, at least.
Yeah. So overall, I actually think it's design-wise. It's I was going to point out one other thing. Sorry, if you go onto Kershaw's website before we have a last of, unless anyone else has something else that they want to point out.
There's my most disliked feature of this knife hasn't been mentioned yet. It's a silly thing, but I do not like bead blasted finishes, and the handle is bead blasted.
That's fair. That's very fair. Yeah. They don't mention the handle material being like a 2CR. So if it's a lower carbon stainless, we shouldn't be worried about pinprick rusting like we have had before in Kershaw bead blast finishes on handles.
I was gonna say, what's the handle of a Strata made of?
The Strata? I don't remember offhand.
Because
sorry, that's ours again. Let's see,
on that other carbon fiber thing you were talking about earlier.
Yeah, that one I'm pretty sure is a 2CR.
Or a Spyderco Rock, like that. That finish picks up rust really easily.
Yeah, so I've had that happen on a Kershaw Skyline before. Bead blasted blade, 14C Sandvik. It got pinprick rust, and it took very little time.
See, that's funny too, because I had like a leak sit out on a back balcony for a winter time and nothing. Handle and blade, like the torsion bar was the only thing that was rusted.
Fair enough. Maybe it's just my caustic.
Are they bead blasted though?
Leaks.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
They don't actually say what the handles are made out of on the Strata. Anyway,
similar material to the Endgame. Yeah. So yes, it wouldn't be my favorite either. I understand why they do it aesthetically as well. For handles, satin finish, stonewash finishes, something like that cost more money, and really they're slapping a bunch of plastic on it, whether it's bronze or black. So if we do a bead blasted, then it's a subtle finish So
it is a cheap, easy finish that gives you a nice, consistent result. But
so if you go back to the Endgame on Kershaw's website, you'll point out one of the things that caught my attention right off the bat is in the specifications, the blade style.
Blade style?
Blade style.
Spear point.
Okay. That's what you tell me. What's an 850? What's a ZT 850? What's its blade shape if this is spear point?
It's a modified spear point.
Yeah. They call a 762, the new one from ZT, they call it a reverse Tonto. With the blue double D10 skeletonized.
almost exactly the same.
When you tell me spear point, you're telling me that you're just not trying anymore, Kershaw. Like it's think harder.
The point is fairly centralized to that blade, sure. But
speaking of centering, before I forget, I did take a photo.
Maybe it's a reverse fair point.
So the centering's good, but there's
I've never heard reverse spear point. That's fantastic. That's a new one.
I hate that. I hate that more than I hate life itself because that's horrible.
Centering's okay.
Yeah, centering's pretty decent.
No, just stop there. Just stop there. Don't talk about what everyone can see right now on the video. Holy cow.
Yeah, so now I thought, hey, did they fuck up a blade at factory? And I checked the other one we had. Nope. No. They are identical. And measuring the blade, it's spot on for what the website says. So they left like 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more, just blade that they didn't feel like sticking into the, into the handle here. It very, very weird that there's this huge extra space. So
I was more thinking the bevel was offset as well.
That too, but this is pretty good for a Chinese-made Kershaw. Let's be real here. That's pretty.
Yeah, I can tell someone's right-handed. That's for sure.
It's very hard. It's the finish on the side of that clip too.
Yeah,
that's some good casting right there, or good grinding. Sorry, on that corner.
Yeah,
I think the word you're looking for is stamping, but yes, 100%. Yeah, as soon as you zoom into stuff like this, everything starts to look a little bit strange.
The inside of that plastic backspacer doesn't look. It looks way better than the backside does. It's a nice smooth surface. You could have told me that was G10. I almost would have believed you, as much as the bronze.
Oh, where is it? There's the back. Oh, backspacer. There we go. Yeah. They kind of left a lot of the.
So, one of the unfortunate things too about layering so many different layers that all are individually finished is that a lot of the corners get rounded in weird ways that is very apparent when you layer a bunch of stuff together too.
Yes.
You can see the seams, right? You can see where all the seams are and all the it's not just like flush, and if there's a flaw, you might not notice it. It's you're accenting people's eyes to those things, so they're gonna naturally look at them, right?
Yeah.
I had another photo here to show that off. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah, you had that
one. The worst part is as far as the knife goes, this is actually not a bad knife.
No, it's
goes like execution, geometry, blade. Pardon me, blade thickness even. Not bad. D2, pretty slazy, blah, 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 type of, but there's so many little things that you have to rip apart just because we are who we are.
Yeah. So there you could really see. Okay, yeah, that has to be stainless steel. Look at the side of that. There's no way that's plastic, right?
Yeah, the way that is. Yeah. Well, like I said, 3 screws should be able to tell you by next week.
Yeah. We'll have a definitive answer by then.
Look at the gapping between the liner and the
on the
scale.
On the subject of the rounding of the surface.
Don't zoom in. You're ruining it.
Gotta zoom at least a little.
Hey man, the jimping's even. That's nice.
That's Joe's answer. Okay, so
it's fine, and if you're looking at it in person, it's fine. If you're using the flipper as intended, it's fine. It's not a problem. And you know what? That's kind of my feeling coming away from this knife. Is like, this knife is all right. It's fine.
But
it's fine.
It's fine, but with everything going on, like on the Chinese market, especially, and with everything D2 and ball bearing and Sierra KT and Kershaw, like I'm glad that they're starting to use D2, but they're just like, hey, premium steel. I'm like,
not anymore. It's not. You missed that boat.
By the time you got into premium steels, it's already budget. I mean, S35 is already on its way out, for goddamn sake. Like
which is impressive, honestly. But that's a discussion for another time, I think. But
the unfortunate thing for Kershaw is this is directly competing with things like the Penguin.
And that's
Well,
and
Gonna
we
lose that fight.
well, how long have we been talking about this stuff? Where it's like Kershaw, ZRKT, you guys are really lagging behind compared to everyone else who's coming into this game. And
like
then,
yes, you can get a Civivi with D2 and ball bearing with copper. Like there's a bunch of new Civivi stuff for $10 or $20 less than or equal price points to what this is, right? So
now,
yeah,
You get a rank 1 for.
and I would normally say, well, you have.
No
Oh, sorry, I cut you off, Paul. What'd you say?
worries, so that was my fault. Sorry, bud.
go ahead, Joe.
Just I normally I would say, with CRKT or with Kershaw, you have the advantage of a killer warranty. Civivi purportedly has a really good warranty as well now, so it's
I
like
imagine with
what's
Wii knives and
yeah. So it's like, so what's the excuse now? Like why? So, and this is an in-house design too, so we know that Civivi and Wii Knives they work with designers all the time. So there's less and less reason to buy something like this over another offering from a different company.
I got an early mandated break. I'll be right back. Finish out with this, and we can talk about my topic. So
Sounds good.
Hey, Joe, in this image that is still on the screen,
Yes.
the bottom PVD coated rose gold bit there.
Yep.
Am I seeing a silver edge on the inside of that?
You sure are, my friend. You sure are. Good
I mean,
eye.
that answers the question.
Yeah, because there are some highlights here, but the only reason that would cast that kind of a color, I would think, would be because of the exposure of material underneath. But again, we'll come back with the definitive answer.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm pretty damn sure this is just stainless steel that's been coated.
Is this the most brutal we've been about a knife that we actually kind of don't hate?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at least for a long while. And that, again, like for me, if you're going to hand me this knife, I'm not going to be terribly upset about it, but it wouldn't be my choice necessarily. No. I personally like what CRKT does with their G10. Okay, with one major caveat, the seismic, but aside from that, I normally really like what they do with their G10. The 3D machining is pretty crisp. I wish Kershaw would do something similar. I know they're trying to keep prices down by going with these stainless steel frame locks, but I don't know. The multi-layered approach is fine, but you're not doing it with enough. What's the term I'm looking for? With tight enough tolerances for me to really get excited about it, you know?
Yeah, there's better things on the market for not terrible. Like, this is more expensive, definitely, but it's not like it. I would argue.
Yeah, that's a terrible example. But
yeah, I kind of faded out there towards the end of that.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, okay.
I wasn't even here for that topic, and I knew where that ended, but yeah.
So,
you're comparing a Wii knife angst to an Endgame.
Point being,
not so much comparing to.
Yeah, but where you have to allocate your money is
exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was saying. Hey, Dennis.
Yeah.
Tell me if you notice on the bottom PVD coated section there. Do you see that silver line on the inside of that thing?
Kinda. No, it might be sun reflection, or it might just be. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We're gonna still verify it for sure, but
where'd that go?
I'm pretty sure that we're gonna find out that it's
like I said, 3 screws. 3 screws.
Exactly.
I am interested.
All right. Whoa, Joe, where are you going with that camera angle? Jeez.
All the way in.
There we go.
We're looking at DNA at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. So we kind of gave our final impressions, or at least I did. What do you think, Dennis? What's your final thought on this?
The knife itself is actually really nice. I enjoy it quite a bit. It's too much money. And like Paul was saying, if you're going to allocate your funds to something, there'd be a lot of knives in this kind of $100 polar bear category, 120, 110, whatever it is, that I would be looking at a lot nicer things than a bunch of layers.
There's a couple of Spyderco's, a couple of Cold Steels I might pick up before this thing. Yeah.
Ergo-wise, action-wise, it's actually pretty nice. If it tickles your fancy in a whole bunch of ways, it's not a terrible knife if you feel jazzed about it. But I just don't feel jazzed about it. There's other knives I feel more jazzy about.
It doesn't tickle my pickle.
Jazz.
Yeah. That's smooth jazz.
Yeah.
So, all right. I think that rounds us out on Endgame.
I think so.
It exists.
It's It sure does.
Yeah.
And it's
In
gonna
all of
reverse-
its spear point glory.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Reverse.
start calling the ZT850 a spear point.
reverse spear point.
Reverse spear point.
So you know how a leaf shaped blade is supposed to be like fairly symmetrical, like on the native? What would a reverse leaf blade look like?
Reverse leaf.
Is it just the same thing?
It's a Persian.
Thanks, I hate it.
Well, you asked.
I kind of wish I didn't. All right. So Dennis, you did say you've got a.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know if it was last week, the week before, we talked about the Penguin is getting a tuxedo type of thing, and they got some titaniums, and they got some 154s, and they got some ball bearings, and they're like, bam, we got a fancy Penguin. Well, it seems like other companies are taking suit on the fancying out some things and some stuff and some things.
Oh no.
So Rake Knives, Ruike Knives, Ruike Knives. That's all. Those all were pronounced wrong, by the way.
Justin's just turning in his grave, and he's not even.
Yeah,
dead
well,
yet.
Pretty sure
they.
it's pronounced.
Yes, I think.
Ugh.
That's how you get the COVID, I think. Anyway, so the 661, 662s are the highlight for me. The little tiny something. I had one. I just recently gifted it to a good friend. So yeah. They're making an upgrade to titanium with 154 cm.
Yeah. Damn it.
Now here's
Pretty damn cute.
so that's
now
662. Oh man.
so
The
here's
best
a
part
bit
is
of
you can front flipper it.
you can, but not comfortably.
Be a man.
Now, what I am not a big fan of is they kept the G10 scale on one side
No, really?
and went TI frame lock. But the price point is very reasonable for what they're.
How many dollary dudes?
Now, if I am guessing dollary dues, because I had to do some hunting to find these goddamn knives, let me tell you. If I were to guess, I'm guessing 140, 150 polar bear dollars.
For a titanium G10 frame lock
With 154.
with 154. That's
At a 58 to a 60. So, I mean, you could go little. I could do a 59 to a 60, but hopefully I get one of those and not a 58. So, yeah. Now,
How many dollars? I missed that. Sorry.
140, 150.
Okay.
You were dreaming about titanium frame locks with sweet action.
Yes. And
Yeah.
front flipper guys.
Yeah. Now, if you scroll down, their website is set up very much like every Chinese website that has got this common theme of just having like a ridiculous amount of pictures with useless specs and stats and whatever. But they have an in-hand photo that actually looks like it might be a relatively good perspective on what it looks like. But yeah. The worst part is the in-hand photo is very much a photoshopped
I was gonna
hand.
say, there is no way that that's actually in that person's
Oh, dude,
hand.
it's the same. Further up, I'll go back. This picture where it's sticking out of the dirt. It doesn't look like it's actually there.
It is very photoshopped. Same with the hunter man with his hand. All of it is very terrible. Now, you will see a picture of the lightweight design, and it almost looks like that might actually be someone's hand holding it.
Wait, is this a straight up? Oh no. Okay, I thought it was a direct interface between the titanium and the steel, but with that screw there, there's got to be an insert.
Yes,
oh wow,
they're-
that is wow, that's impressive.
So, yeah.
I don't even believe those hands exist.
Those aren't people's hands.
No.
That's a 3D
Surely
model
not.
of a person's hand.
They took every picture of a hand on the internet and they made these hands with it.
Not every hand. Let's be real. These would look pretty gross.
So, these are not on Rake Canada's website. I found Ruike.com has them, and they posted them just recently on their social media. And Justin just commented that it was David Duchovny's heads. And that might be the best comment we've ever had on this channel.
I'm sorry, I don't understand the reference.
That's Mulder from X-Files.
Oh, okay.
It's even funnier if you know David Duchovny as an actor or a person. That's awesome. Anyway.
What's the 671?
Do you remember that weird front flipper they had before? That's
Okay.
the upgraded version of that.
Yeah. We'll get there. You scrolled too far, you son of a bitch.
Nobody told me to stop. I just kept going.
Okay, so we've got the 61s and the 62s. So we're going to talk about that. But then, yes, there's a 671, which was the weird bug-eyed front flipper of carbon fiber they tried to make.
What
and they
the hell?
Titaniumed it and then slightly tantoed it.
And then they gave it some crazy fluting.
I don't know about the fluting. Hashtag fluting.
I don't know how I feel about the thumb stud, but I like the rest of that thing.
You know what?
Well, it was a bug eye.
Oh,
like it was on the 671. It was a big bug eye.
Yeah.
You know, it was weird. When I first saw this knife, I'm like, was it sitting in the light where like light was coming in through some blinds? It was just hitting it at a weird angle. But then thought, no, there's no lines on the blade. What the hell's going on? This knife looks weird. Like, it's kind of tripping me out a little bit. This is really strange.
Hey, man. It's 3 front flippers in titanium. I'm excited.
And if you haven't caught the reference, Nigel actually commented here in the chat. Good to have you there, brother. He was the hand model in Zoolander. So,
Okay.
Do they say what the backspacer is?
On the 671?
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually specify or not.
It looks like it's a different color. That's the only reason I ask.
I'm guessing it might be a stainless steel. They might have went that route because it's Rake Knives. Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, they don't specify. At least I must. Yeah.
Although they did do the thrust ball bearing, which is that roller bearing thing that they do, and that has got a pretty goddamn good action.
Yes, it does.
Are these? I guess they're not available yet.
They're not even on .ca, dude. They're on .com. I will be looking into the new models for Rake Knives because, yeah.
Yeah, because I would like another one in my collection. At least one other one.
Well, I just got rid of my budget version of a 662, and I might grab a TI version of one or the other. I might go 661 just to mix it up this time because I'm weird like that.
The wrong choice. That Warncliffe is awesome.
It is an awesome Warncliffe, but I had that one. I own that one. I didn't own the other one.
It's fair.
This means the Warncliffe is more available for me to grab.
You're okay with that. You're okay with that. I'll have to play with them both, but for a small little titanium guy, I wonder if it's probably too early to tell, but aftermarket be able to get something other than a G10 slab for the other side. Maybe a titanium that's the wrong color, like they tried to do on the Brower from Spyderco.
Actually, this is what the Brower is what this reminds me of the most, actually. And I was thinking how much a Brower went for in S30 and compared to this in 154. And
it's going to be, I almost guarantee it's going to be sub 150.
Yeah,
for
that's
it.
what I mean.
Yeah.
It's going to be a much better deal.
I'm not 100% sure about the 671, what the price point on it might be.
I imagine it's going to be a bit more up there with all the extra machining time, right?
I think so, but I might be able to.
With all the floating?
The flouting. Yeah.
I hate that.
I live for that moment. That moment of Joe's just utter disbelief.
Just disgust and anger.
Just years falling away from your life, and I just.
Is that how that works?
Now,
forever.
They need to do an S35 801. They need to bring back an 801. Yeah, that I don't, disagree with that in any sort of way.
The Benza.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I mean, I got the fancy version of an 801, which is the 804. By the way, that's the right answer for everyone. But
the Ruike 804?
I was gonna say he's talking about the 801.
Oh, the 801 on Rake. Okay, I
Yeah.
thought we were going ZT there for a second. My bad.
No,
Yeah.
the
An S35 801. They did a premium 801. I don't know.
they okay, so an S35 full tie version of this would be kind of cool.
That is not a Benza.
No.
No, but an
It is
801,
this,
an
but-
801 very much looks like a Benza.
Yeah,
It's got some passing
Especially-
similarities.
the blue thumb studs included.
Yeah. The hollow grind on the Sabenza is nicer, but
But the flat grind on the 801 is still very nice. It comes down to a reasonably thin section behind the edge. I
You could probably
contemplate
talk
that.
me into a
knife.
high-end version of that for sure.
Yeah, S35 and that would be a great platform, but I'd rather see it come in for a fair fewer dollars in 154, if I'm being honest. Just because I know the S35 is going to cost more. Just like the Hussar, when they redid that, it was the most expensive one that they did.
At like what, 220?
Yeah,
it was still
Yeah.
not even, I don't think.
Maybe
It-
200.
wasn't it 220 when it initially? Anyway, yeah. Regardless, right over 200.
And I'm gonna ballpark on that 671 because we're still talking about it with all the flouting and the blah blah. 160, 170, maybe.
Is it a drive-by floating?
I don't know. Would that make him a floatist?
This kind of looks like a tire tread, so sure, it's a drive-by.
Yeah, he left the tire marks on the knife.
Kidding aside,
It's a drive-by
I would
floating.
probably go with this just for the fact that it's got the fluting.
I don't know, dude. It's such a weird knife.
Oh,
Like the CF version, we played with it. We had a review on it. I'm pretty sure if you look back in the
Yeah.
day, we had an old, probably crappy audio review that we did our best on. But
I don't think we particularly liked the action on that knife, if I remember correctly. I think there was something up.
I think I liked it, but I'm kind of weird like that. And they slightly tantoed this one too,
Yeah, I don't
right?
know how.
Compared to the CF version.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It's gentle enough that I think I'd be okay with it, but
The
it's
thumb studs are a little less egregious in silver than they are in black.
yes, yeah.
I like the flouting.
And it could be a pocket killer depending on how crisp it is. But if it is somewhat rounded,
It looks like it's a.
I don't know,
it's
subtle
hard to
enough, it might
tell.
not be bad. Yeah.
It's
I
really
didn't
hard
get to
tell.
play with the Spyderco tie stick, but I imagine it was better than that.
The
Oh,
flips are nice enough too that you can probably just manhandle it in without really scraping
Yeah.
up against the side of the knife anyways.
All about manhandling it in.
Hey, sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
if
Yeah.
it fits,
Yeah.
it fits.
It's true. It's true. So that actually leads me to the last two knives. And I have no other way to talk about these other two knives than to mention some sort of Canadian competitor. And
No.
It is
you
what
don't-
it
you don't-
is.
You don't have to. I can open them up in the. I can open
All
up
right.
just the images if you don't want to do that.
that's cool. That's cool. So the thing about this is, and it kind of is, I won't mention who the retailer is at this point, but I found two other upgraded versions of Rake Knives. Now, there was this particular website and one place in Russia that I didn't feel like making Joe Google Translate to bring up. But other than that, there's no existence of that these two knives even exist. So it's super weird. They're way before some sort of preview, whatever, right? But one is actually the 105 Fang. We had it with a blue and black swirly handle on our website.
Yeah, we did.
So they make a 105 TZ.
So I take back what I said about the other ones. This might be the one that I want more because I like the Fang and I
I like
like
the facets.
the look of this.
Got some accents, got some something. Couldn't find any descriptions, couldn't find anything. N690 is what I found. Yeah, just for all y'all.
Justin's talking nonsense in chat, just for the record, about
Okay,
Garden rakes.
maybe the EDC rake community can team up with the tweezer community,
And the hatchet
and
community.
Oh,
and
okay.
as well as the EDC hatchet community. Yeah.
At home, at my parents' house, my dad has this rake that is telescoping. If you push a little ringed bit up forward, the the tines fan out, so it's easy to store.
Mhm.
I have always loved that rake. It's just
Those
like
are
this
good.
is. Oh, it's cool because you can adjust it for different spacing. It's super handy.
They had those when we were kids back in the 80s.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Those
yeah,
are,
that thing's
those-
ancient. His is old.
Those are good for drive-by rakings as
Yes. But the first thing that came to mind when he said, well, for those watching, Justin in the comments is saying, we need to start a new knife brand called Rake Knives, and they're all pocket-sized garden rakes. First thing I'm thinking of is a small mechanical version of that telescopic rake. And like, I'd be the asshole who'd buy one of those things. Like,
Well,
that's
Yeah.
so dainty.
you're at
I
least
love that.
halfway.
And when that doesn't work, we can just remarket them as back scratchers because that's how small they would probably need to be to fit here.
Only if you sell them by yelling at people. Back scratcher!
Back scratcher!
Gotcha.
Back scratcher! All right, so this guy, on top of being N690 Cobalt instead of 154 CM, is also the most expensive by probably a $200, if not over $200 price point.
This particular
It's a
website,
significant amount of TI.
where you found this knife, they do like to overcharge, though. I will.
Sometimes.
I'll throw
Sometimes.
that out there. So
We'll see.
that's-
We'll see.
Yeah.
But the other thing with this bad boy as well is that's a big chunk of titanium, and hopefully they milled the crap out of it, which would be some of the reason why that price point might be what it is.
Okay.
Is the normal fang is a beefy knife. So if they did 2 slabs of titanium, that's a lot of titanium. And if they did milling, that's probably some extra milling to get it down to the weight
I was gonna
size.
say the Fang is probably close in size to the induction here. No, it's actually a little bit bigger than this. Yeah, so it's a fair size knife. So to have that in titanium, yeah.
And yeah. So
It better be milled in like a faceted pattern on the inside for absolutely no one except for me. Just so I can feel better about it.
now they're also using something for all of these models called TC4 titanium. So I don't know if that is what
It's
the Terminator was made out of, but
I'm pretty sure it's comparable to your standard 6 blah blah blah.
I'm
blah, blah,
familiar.
blah.
I'm familiar.
6AV something. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've looked it up before because I'm pretty sure the
So 6AL4V titanium is also TC4. So it's the same
Yeah.
grade. That
Gotcha. That's weird that they would separate themselves.
I think it's because TC4 is like it's the same standard, but it's made in a different like country. I guess I'm not 100% sure actually. I knew
you
at
can
one
just say
point.
it, Joe. It was made in China.
No, well, it probably made in China, but I'm thinking that's probably the Chinese standard versus like the American standard or the Russian standard or.
I gotcha.
It's 204P versus M390 versus
Yeah,
20CV.
more than likely.
So, yeah. This thing is hella good looking, and the Fang is an ergo as hell knife.
Yeah.
So, other than the fact that they're overcharging for N690, surprise.
Now,
It might actually be a pretty nice knife.
N690 compared to 154 CM, you think there's going to be enough of a difference?
No, I don't. I think they're actually going to be very similar.
If honestly, if their N690 is as good as their 154, I might be okay with that. I might be okay with that.
But I've also kind of in my own mind have a sub 200 for 154 CM as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, quite a bit smaller.
being
though,
that
right?
this is a $40 or $50 more expensive knife than the last new knives that we've been checking out.
Yeah.
Although it is a big knife and you're paying for more, apparently. So,
I would have to get it in hand to make the decision if it's worth the extra.
Of course.
and they're going to try to pull that whole like Benchmade pivot color. We're going to charge you an extra $25 because it's a goddamn, they did it on their sharpener for goddamn like it. So
And there's a pivot color on this one.
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Rake's like, we can do this. $25 more. Bam, pivot color. Look at that. It's blingy. I like it, by the way, for the record. I like it.
Yeah.
But-
I like the curved thumb spot for your
Mhm,
gimbal.
mhm.
Yeah.
I did like it with the rake. I
They
didn't
didn't-
like the rake in general, but I did like the blade shape and that part of it.
They didn't mention what blade shape this was, but I'm going to guess leaf point.
Reverse leaf point.
Reverse leaf point. Is it? Do you have to call it a reverse leaf point if there's that swedge?
I mean, when it's a regular leaf point, that switches on the other side.
If the shoe fits, right?
If it's a reverse harpoon, does that just make it a Tanto?
No, reverse harpoon's like a Tom Brown tracker.
I was gonna say, thank you, Joe.
That's what that is.
Anyway.
You've got one more?
Oh, yes. So also snuck in between a Russian website and one random other website that I found. They took the 126, which is the one that they came out with last year, I believe. It was a 2020 model. That was a slim little left-hand carry for the first time Tonto that they made. With 1428, very simple design. So they TZ'd this bad boy as well. And that's just going to be my new term for when Rake decides to upgrade a model is they TZ'd it. Good old TZ.
Don't know what the Z stands for. I don't want to know.
Well, we're Canadian, so it's better that way.
Yeah, otherwise it'd be TZ.
Before I get overly excited, what's the blade steel on this guy?
This guy's 154 cm. So it's right up your slender little Jumbones alley. It's for sure.
You know why you're asking.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not like I own this knife in like 4 different variations already.
And this is going to be a somewhere in between price point between the first ones we looked at and the other ones we looked at. So yeah.
Shit. Okay. This is honestly, if the detent is crisp on this, I'll take it. Don't need, yeah.
I mean, they've been on point with their detent so far.
Now
Yes.
the thing with both of these as well is, yeah, they are pretty good. Rake is pretty good with their detents overall, for sure. I'll give you that
Pretty
one.
good.
One exception, which also uses 154 cm, was the Beta Plus that they upgraded into the 154 and titanium. A little bit of a softer detent on those. I like my detents crispy.
Yeah, the 108 wasn't my favorite design in the first place.
Love child of a Lozon and a Crossbones. Justin, you shut your mouth.
He's not wrong, and that's the part that hurts the most.
It's called a Jumbones. It already exists.
Yeah, if you threw like a Quaken as the weird cousin in that family, then yes, I'm with you.
Yeah.
He was watching in the corner. It's
The
fine.
weird cousin with the very straight bags.
Oh, I don't like that.
He's from Iceland, okay?
and he only eats like radish porridge or something. Yeah,
or
he's
or
that
fish
guy.
cock.
Yeah, fish cock. Definitely fish cock.
Would have been the right answer, but
Oh, just gonna soothe right past that.
now what I was going to say is the 126 and the 105 are both titanium frame locks on both sides.
Yes.
All about the titaniums,
One downside,
as well as the
potentially,
671 as well, right?
no left-hand pocket clip on this guy. Hey,
Yeah, okay. That was my big finale. These sons of bitches. The first knife they ever left-hand freaking carry is the budget version of this knife.
Look, they didn't want to sully up the nice one.
Well, okay. On the one hand, I
What?
get it. Having weird holes for pocket clips on the presentation of the side of the knife, sure, that might alienate a few people. I personally, I don't know. At this price point, just give me like a little inlay to put in. Like,
I'm just making fun of lefties, quite honestly. 'Cause
yeah, okay, fair enough.
With so many blue little accents and blue little things that they already do on all of their stuff,
Yeah.
they had to throw a splash of blue on either side and actually countersunk these knives. I don't know if they're countersunk or not. We'll tell you when we get them and do a first impression.
Yeah.
This one will probably do a long impression because Joe will probably buy it because he's a sucker.
you can
Yeah.
do
You know me so
the
well.
671 and the 661 and 662, probably.
For me, it's gonna come down to the detent. That's the big thing. But I can't. Other than that, I don't see a reason why I wouldn't buy this thing, unless they're using the weird fold-over cone pivot thing that they had on the Beta Plus. If they use that same clip here, I might be less inclined. I've seen a lot of people tweak those clips, like catching them on shit and just having them go.
I appreciate that Ben is a man of culture as well in chat, poking the lefty bear at least once a week.
Well, Ben, actually, from Ben Banter's talking about his baby Banter, and he gave it a left-hand pocket clip after the original Ben Banter did not have a lefty clip. And to quote him, he said that we were the strangest and most outspoken group in the knife community that he has ever talked to when it comes to different divisions of Swiss Army traditional tactical. He's like the lefties. The lefties are the craziest out of all you guys.
Well, because that's how you have to get their attention. What's that, Paul?
I said we've met, Dennis.
Oh, yes.
Okay, but when it comes to getting attention, I mean, that's just why I use my left hand. Like, I grew up that way. Like, instantly.
No,
I was
know.
just like, yep.
Yeah. Well,
this is weird. Let's do that.
You've been doing it wrong the whole time. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway. Yeah, so I don't even like this knife. I didn't like the budget version. I didn't like this version. It's like, I have no interest in it in the slightest, but screw you, Rake. Seriously.
Yeah.
They've made their bed and they're gonna sleep in it.
Yeah, unfortunately. I doubt they'll listen to reason.
Justin's also making a good point in chat that Joe didn't even try and fight.
Oh, dude.
He's gonna buy this knife.
Okay, so like within arm's reach, how many knives do I have that fit that bill? Like at least these two. Skinny titanium.
Where's your
frame locks.
weird one?
The weird
From
one?
that company that doesn't even exist anymore.
Oh, that's this one. That's the Voking.
There you go.
Yeah, I love this thing.
I'm pretty sure Amazon bought them, but
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Amazon? Oh.
Joe, Paul gets that joke, but he's probably the only one.
Yeah. Oh,
We'll tell you after.
You just made me sad, but that's okay.
Yeah, just wait.
So, yeah.
That's
New Rake Knives. 154 cm. They're blinging out a whole bunch. Yeah. So
I think this is the correct way to do things. And I find it very funny that although they had initially stated that, yeah, you know, we're dipping our toes into the high-end pool, but we're going to continue to focus on our budget entries. And then they come out with like 5 new variations. Well, 5 new variations of knives that already existed in high-end materials.
In Rake's defense, they came out with one new budget model. I just don't give a shit about it. There's one there. I'm pretty sure, actually, if you looked it up on Rake's website.
Wasn't it like some 8CR or something or other?
It is an 8CR model, and it's very similar to the last 8CR model that we had that was big and bulky and good price point.
The last 8CR model we had, let me see if I can find it here. I actually really like that knife. Yeah, here it is, the 191. If that knife was a 14C Sandvik like the others, I would own it.
Okay, well, now they have the 198. Because if you go to new on their website.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for that. Well, was waiting for that page to load. Yeah, but it's still 8CR 13.
Oh, holy shit. They put left-handed pocket clip on this.
They did?
Yeah, it's cheap enough. They can throw you a bone.
Yeah.
Oh, we end on a good note, boys. This knife is so much better looking than the 120, whatever the hell that is.
It's looking
Never
pretty.
Having touched this knife, why is there a thumb spot halfway up the handle?
Because they're trying to look like a number of different ZTs.
Or it's a lockback, you know.
But what?
No, it's not.
It's like you're fucking with me, right? You gotta be fucking with me. It's a liner lock. Okay.
They're reducing weight. Okay.
Quick shout out to Jared Cog in chat. What's going on, brother?
Hey.
What are y'all carrying? Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. Hold on, is this injection molded plastic?
Probably. It's terrible.
This is the
Looks
first.
like G10.
Not from here. It doesn't. I'm pretty sure that's plastic.
You're plastic.
They've got this whole like laundry list. If you scroll down, they've got those fake pictures on tree stumps like they do on every other picture. So
it's the handle material for the record is PA66 plus 35% GF, so glass fibers. PA66 must be
30% fiberglass.
Yeah,
so it's a
same stuff United Cutlery makes all their polymer handles out of.
Yeah. So okay, this one's got to be pretty cheap then. Which fine, whatever.
I don't have a price point on this bad boy because I told you I don't care.
Was he actually holding that knife? It looked like he might have been.
What's that? Sorry.
Said, was he actually holding the knife? That's definitely not on that backpack strap. Though.
No, it's not. Look how tiny it is compared to his hand.
Yeah.
Oh, these pictures are not meant to be looked at for long periods of time. Look how big that knife looks in this guy's hand.
You were once again looking at the most important part of picture, which is reversible pocket clip.
Yes, of course.
Justin's asking about the Ruike karambits in chat, and those aren't new, right?
They've been around for a while. Sure, give the creepy karambits 14C. Don't give the really well designed 191 any 14C.
No, they're just going to skip a step and dabble the market and then make a TI version if they actually sell it decently.
You know, don't even say that, Kate, because if they make a TI version of the 191, I'm buying that too.
No. The 191 was a disaster, and they're going to discontinue it. But
you think so? Fuck. For $50
with its straight razor over travel stop.
The thing was cool as hell. Paul, you're making a face.
Straight razor over travel stop.
It's a pocket clip that kind of looks like a straight razor.
That thing. Okay, yeah.
Oh, it was the pocket clip, not the over travel. You're right. Yeah.
It has both features. It covers the line.
I got it for how cheap you could get this knife. I think it was a good buy. It's just I'm not interested in HCR with a basic design like this.
And I think the 198 is the knife that they're trying to replace that one, because they're really only dabbling with 2 or 3 HCR models. They're not bulking up. Their Sandvik ones seem to be still the bread and butter. They're dabbling into more premium because they're getting away with it. And they're like, if Best Tech can make $400 knives, so can we, you sons of bitches. So
if they continue to make them at $200, though, they'll sell it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And their tolerances don't have to be that tight, because for that price, it's still a smoking good deal.
That's it.
For the record, the ones that the 3 models we've had in the shop with titanium have been pretty decent as far as fit and finish goes. Like, pretty clean.
Not bad. The carbon fiber on the 875, I think it was a little cheapy. It was a little Kershaw stickery.
Yeah, but at least it wasn't peeling up at the corners like a lot of the Kershaw stuff.
Choice being the Hussar was pretty well spot on.
Yeah, and I'm sure that model sells okay for both the TI and the budget version.
It's the right choice.
Yeah, but not anymore. It's not. There's new TI models on the market, and I think that. Oh, I was going to say that. I think that 661, 662.
Yeah. Just Ben's got a good point in chat. It's carbon fiber, not carbon fiber.
Of course. I'm sorry. Let me apologize first and foremost.
You're not forgiven.
Hey, come on. How dare you? Brah, come on. Okay, well, that's a bombshell. That's pretty cool. Always nice to see new makers. And you know what? I've been wondering who was going to take Wee's place with the reasonably priced titanium frame locks. Because right now, aside from them, I can't think of too many other companies in this price point with these materials.
And who is dropping bombs early before SHOT Show? Like, these things are hard to dig up. I saw the 661 and the 662 was on Rake's social media. They put it up on their Instagram about those. And that led me down a rabbit hole of searching for others, and I found these ones, right? But The other thing that I have to comment on is especially the 105 and the 126, the Fang and this slim Quake and James Williams knockoff that Joe's going to buy. What? How did these websites get a hold of these models before anything? Like, there's no YouTube videos, there's no sneak peeks, there's no nothing on those two models.
Given the website, and given, like you said, Russia, China probably, well, Ruike being produced in China, right? They probably had an early European release and probably very limited. It's not the first time that stuff like this has happened. Remember, we had found some Russian website detailing a lot of the new Cold Steel stuff that nobody else really knew about at the time.
Well, we knew about it.
Well, yeah, sure, as retailers, right? But
as retailers that might have an inside peek, but like we don't have an inside peek on this.
No, so I'm I'm just wondering if it's a similar vein where, for whatever reason, retailers haven't been told about this stuff yet, but the information is out there for, I don't know, maybe one or two locations. It's hard to say. Like, I don't really have much of a concept as far as how big Rake is as a company.
Phoenix flashlights, that size.
That also means nothing to me, but
no, GSM Outdoors owns Mech, and they carry Phoenix flashlights.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
They might have switched to Olight recently, actually. I might be wrong on that, but they were a huge supplier of Phoenix at 1.9. Phoenix does well for themselves. Yeah. And Olight seems to be taking the front runner over the last couple of years as far as number one Chinese supplier. But Phoenix probably was number one Chinese supplier for many years. So, so they have that backing. But yeah, we'll see where it goes.
I'm very interested. Absolutely.
We're going to be contacting some dealers to see what kind of availability we have on these particular models because, we know they're a thing now, right? So
I could touch them.
And at those prices, I can't see them not selling.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, for 154 CM, which is kind of a forgot about steel because like Benchmade got away from it. A lot of companies, it's like the same thing that happened with ADS 34, where they're like, no, there's better stuff on the market. We're going to forget about you. And you're like, dude, but these are still like half-ass decent steels. Like, you don't have to forget about these, right?
Or full-ass decent steels.
I was going to say, half-ass decent. Way to sell it.
Yeah.
Well, again, we're talking about S35 almost becoming a budget steel. Like, it's all perspective, right? So
I'm just giving you a hard time because it's fun.
I'm honestly really liking seeing 154 kind of come back into the main sphere. Like, who were they? Concept Knives.
Concept. Kaiser's using it in a lot of their stuff as well. And
I like 154. You know, like it's still just a good steel. But
I think it should become the new VG10 and the new like mid-range blah blah blah. I think that's the place that 154 needs to sit.
154 should replace all the HCR bullshit out there because if you could make in high enough quantity, it'd pay for itself, right? And it's come on, I can dream.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. No, that's never gonna
happen. You go tell every gas station that they need to step their production quality up.
Yeah, no, it'll never happen. But
yeah, true story. Anyway, thought I'd drop that bomb on you because I like to find shit. And I found some shit.
It's
so
cool as hell.
Indeed.
Favorites at L5 for anyone watching as well as the guys here out of the Rake Knives.
You could probably guess my favorite out of the bunch, but you might be wrong.
It's probably going to be the 126 because, we know you.
The 126. Oh, yeah, that guy? Maybe, but I'm going to have to hold it in hand. But I do know, where the hell did it go? This guy. I think this is the one that I would pull the trigger on a little faster. Okay. The Warncliffe.
I assumed it was going to be the Fang.
662 is probably going to be everyone's vote. I'm kind of leaning, like I said, 661, mix it up a little. I had a 662. We're going to play with this guy. Yeah. 671, I'm going to be really interested on how bug-eyed the thumb studs look compared to the original.
Yeah, I mean, they look decent in this photo, but that they're still big for thumb studs, right?
Maybe
I think I can grind them down. I think I can
spidey.
Spidey hole that. If you can front flip it, just take that out and become, look at the cutout.
Oh, God.
Do we have a decent picture of the other side?
Not with the knife closed,
Plenty
sadly.
enough room to.
No, I lied. Here it is. There might just there might just be enough room.
We can Spidey hole the shit out of that and make it a front flipper with a Spidey hole. And now we got, you bet.
Yeah.
That's going to happen, boys and girls. That might be my favorite model. We just got to mod it.
That's a T8 screw for that thumb stud. That'll come off nice and easy.
I'm into it.
Yeah. And it's got enough of a recess where the finger cutout is. Yeah. That's the knife to do it too. And it can go on my regrind page.
It might be a little tight.
I'm sorry, whose regrind page?
No, it's not mine. I don't even follow that shit. It's a spam account.
So quick to dismiss.
Yeah.
So quick to dismiss.
The 662 is probably the most likely knife for me to take home, but I think this one might be my favorite out of the bunch.
Yeah. That's
I like
fair.
the fluting.
The fluting is really cool. Like that's nice.
I hope they do something with the backspacer. If they TI it, you could anodize it, and that leaves it all sorts of open for the fancy. If you want a bronze or blue or purple or whatever, that would be super cool. Even if it was steel, you could probably flame anodize it bronze, and I think that might happen. We can just Frankenstein the crap out of this knife and actually make it worth something carrying.
I believe it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Thanks.
You guys not seen Young Frankenstein?
I have. That's why I said thanks. Because now I'm gonna have to go rewatch it again.
It's a great movie. You should.
I have that thing on VHS, man. It's fantastic.
I understand that you can't trademark a hole, blah, 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 Fisk stuff, Dick Richards talking about Spidey holes, blah, 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 right? Sure makes sharpening a hell of a lot easier when there's not a bug-eyed thumb stud sitting in the way. So
the other thing too, the other reason why it might be good to have a hole rather than a stud, look how far the stud comes out towards the edge. It might catch up on shit. Having a hole there would mean it's not going to catch up on shit.
Well, I mean, there is certain knives that I have that the thumb studs protrude, and you can almost Emerson wave them. The Purdue does it.
Yeah, the Purdue does.
I bet you I can wave this thing for sure.
Yeah, with the bug eyes that it has. But I'm interested also on the action of this thing with thrust roller on TI.
I think that was the right choice because they just used washers, I think, and they weren't phosphor bronze on the original.
I thought it was thrust washers on the original.
I think it was.
I don't think it was thrust washers.
I think it was. You could look at it because down below you could see the 671
If it's not that
CV.
one, it's the weird one that had the nail nick. Definitely had thrust washers.
That one.
It did.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. The blue linered one. But I think this one did too. If you scroll down and you'll see the what else is because you like to scroll too far.
Yeah.
There you go. There. Yeah.
It brought me to a picture. That's silly. Okay. Built-in ball bearing structure. Built-in ball bearing structure. That's a weird way to say that. But okay, fair enough.
Blop.
I don't know. What was it about the action that made me think it was okay?
But it doesn't say thrust, so I'm guessing that this thing is going to be smooth.
You're right. They do say ball bearing, not thrust bearing.
Yeah. They usually, because they use both, and I know they usually talk about it in their literature.
And I'm pretty sure built-in ball bearing
structure.
Yeah, it's just another word for what they did on the home front, or not the home front, the bona fide built-in ball bearing. Just boom around the pivot. That's right. Joe's thinking too hard. Look at him go.
I can't.
You smell burnt toast.
Bonafide. Yeah. Okay. The field strip
Built-in,
too. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was drawing such a blank there. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What reference is he making now? Jesus Christ!
Obscure bullshit. No, it's. I should be very familiar with it.
It's actually very applicable to what we're talking about when it comes to built-in ball bearing systems.
Believe it or not.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right. So that pretty much wraps us up. We're gonna end with some fancy rake knives.
That's super cool.
Yeah, we should, Paul. You should just talk about it instead of just asking if we should talk about it. You should just talk about it.
Talk about the fact that we have a giveaway going on.
Yeah,
we do.
Let's go there right now.
There we are.
Yeah, Justin actually made a comment earlier in chat about good luck figuring out the 3 things that were changed, or one of the 3 things. If you look at the knife, there's actually 5 things that were changed, technically.
Okay, I'm a lefty, man. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
yeah.
I'm just gonna bring that picture up to show.
And that's being
not including the clip or the pivot.
Okay, so sure they do. Whatever. If you get 3 out of 5, man, we're good.
See, yeah, if we had a lot of people going in, they might see all the different answers and get.
And the best part is we're going to give away that one right now because you already talked about not counting the clip or the pivot type of thing. Is that we talked about where the face side and the presentation side were, and when we were doing the blade swap and everything else, and blah blah blah. That's number 2. If you're actually watching live or watching this video, you can go comment on our Instagram because I just gave you 2 just for more participation out of the 3. When we did that, I talked about where the presentation side was, and that needed to happen because on a righty, the presentation side is one way, and on a lefty, the presentation side is on another way. So
backwards, even.
Some people say the right way.
Yeah, those people are wrong.
Well, that's when they're talking about putting it on the right way instead of the left way.
Oh.
Boo.
So
it didn't matter what you said. I could finish with that.
That is fair.
So, both watching live tonight, both watching live on YouTube when this thing is reposted. You pretty much have your answers for the giveaway. And Joe, what are we giving away?
What the hell are we giving away? I have a picture. It's right here. Oh, it loads. Are you going to load? This is so anticlimactic.
It's kind of, I was waiting for you to set it up a little better, but...
Yeah, no, it wouldn't open. But here it is.
It could be yours.
It could be yours. This.
Oh.
But don't enter below. Go to Instagram. Enter over there.
Yeah.
It's all on Instagram this time around. We will say right off the bat here as well, and right off the bat, I mean, across the board. At the end of the episode. Anyone who is subscribed to our Patreon is automatically signed up for the giveaway. You don't have to guess on the Instagram. It's just a thank you for everyone participating. We do have more thank yous to come for the Patreon guys, but yeah, you're automatically signed up whether you like it or not. So deal with it.
Suckers.
And this is an old school. We got old school Adamas with D2. Also including the OG pouch.
Yeah.
That's right. Just so you can Uncle Randy it instead of wearing it in them tight pants.
Dude, if you're not wearing it attached to a vest, you're doing it wrong.
And if you put it in the pouch, please, for God's sakes, remove the pocket clip. It's a comfortable pocket clip, but you don't need it in there. Come on. What are you thinking?
To be fair, I don't think that knife actually has a pocket clip on it.
It'll come with a pocket clip when we send it to someone. I have like 9 pocket clips sitting in my room right now. We'll put a pocket clip on it. It doesn't have one currently because it was carried in a pouch, but...
Well, you're getting a dick clip.
Brutal.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, have that going on. It's going on until October 10th, which is Canadian Thanksgiving. We're going to be posting the live stream and announcing the winner then. It'll be a random thing, but this time around you can get more than one entry. Ben already proved that, so he's going to have on the list -3, -4, you're going to be entered in, and we're going to do a random how many people are actually entered into this goddamn thing. So, yeah. Apparently there's 5 things wrong. So go find 3 of them and post it.
Wrong. He admits it.
Yeah.
I didn't say whose knife was wrong.
You said there's
I
5
just say
things
I know
wrong.
which one I own.
Oh, poor Justin. He's got 5 wrongs in one knife.
It's not the only knife.
Yeah.
To be fair, in Justin's defense, I actually really like the black blade on the carbon fiber handle. It's the blue accents. It looks really fucking smart.
Straight up, Benchmade needs to offer that in all of their S90 carbon fiber models. If they started doing black coatings on all of that shit, they would sell a lot more because that's a good looking knife. God damn it!
It's
If they did that,
snappy.
if they did that combo in a mini, you might actually make me buy a mini with a carbon fiber and a black blade on a mini. Goddamn. See?
Yeah.
Brain exploded.
I mean, if you're gonna make a mini, that's.
Make
And
a
then
mini
I'd blade swap it with Justin
to fuck it up again.
and then Tanto it just to be on the regrind page.
There you go.
Oh, why would you do these things? To be contrarian. That's why.
Yeah. Don't buy Flightanium scales. Just bug Benchmade until they do it themselves. Notice the customizer with TI scales. I rest my case. That's it.
Yeah.
Look, Flightanium was showing Benchmade that there was money to be made on the table, and Benchmade was like, "We'll take that, please."
Flightanium is proving that there's money to be made in just a lot of things right now. And a lot of people are following suit. Yeah. And doing a good job of it. Yeah.
100%.
It's a good game to be in.
So yeah, go enter that. It'll be fun. Repost for some extra stuff, as well as getting our name out there a little bit, because that's the main thing with the reposting is growing our channel a little bit. So
I think Jared's gonna start a new channel, our new page on Instagram.
Oh,
with Dennis's reground bug out.
I haven't reground anything. Don't tell me what to do.
You're gonna make it a Tantum.
Oh, that's
No.
if I get the mini. They need to make a black and carbon fiber mini first. Step 1, Benchmade. Your move.
they're gonna make it. I mean, why wouldn't they?
I'll Tanto it. I'll say right now on this channel right here, if it comes out, I'll Tanto it. I'll
Why?
keep it.
Because he hates nice things.
Because I'm a stubborn man.
Oh,
And
lovely.
if you're going to suck me into buying a mini bug out, I might as well make it worse.
Wolf.
I don't like the mini, okay? Although, mini looking like that might not be bad.
Yeah, big, classy little knife.
And then I'll swap out the back spacer and put my bailout window punch on it just to finish the job off.
You know, we could have stopped at a high note, and then you said the worst possible thing.
Well, we should have stopped when Rake announced a left-hand carry on a new budget knife. That was the only high note we had after that. Yeah. So.
Well, shit. So much for the contest, then. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, sorry. That was way more of a high note. What am I talking about?
You know,
ouch.
Free Adamas? I don't know. Jesus. For the record, it may be D2, but you could do a lot of stupid shit with that knife and get away with it.
Also on the contest note, follow Instagram, YouTube channel, hopefully to grow it a little bit. Like, subscribe, all of that advertising BS that we need to do to get our name out there a little bit.
Share us around.
Yeah, this is going to lead into another contest because we're at 970 for Instagram, and if we can get 1,000, we'll throw another one up, and it'll be fun.
I think we're 960 and change.
Don't worry about it.
I'm a little worried. We need to get those numbers over on YouTube. Come on. Come watch our shit.
Yeah. Do it. Do it.
I got other things planned for us on Instagram, but I got to talk to you guys before I actually announce them. So next week, I'll probably announce more stuff on Instagram that we plan on doing. So
that'd be
fair.
neat.
Fair.
All right. On that note, I think we talked about what we need to talk about. So
yeah,
indeed.
I think so.
All right. Thanks for joining us, guys. Always appreciated. I am who I am. I'm Dennis Vipers.
I am the Iron Joe.
Exile.ca.
And you could win a free Adamas. Like and subscribe, folks.